Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm just going to do a quick video on this score that I just got off of Rogue Recycler, which is a Facebook page that's out there. What this is a hyper roller attachment, and I'm going to mount this on my RH2i reverse hyper. If you guys are curious about my feelings about the rack mounted reverse hyper, please go ahead and click up here and it'll take you to my initial impressions video. But what we're going to do right now is I'm going to install this onto the reverse hyper and then kind of let you guys know my initial impressions. Alright, so just something real quick. A lot of times I get accused of being like a Rogue fanboy, and I do have a lot of Rogue equipment, but this is part of the reason I love Rogue. So I bought this unit second hand, and because of that I didn't have the manual. I'm sure I could figure out how to actually do it, but I emailed Rogue and literally within minutes they had sent me the actual instructions so that I can make sure that I actually mount this reverse hyper the correct way. So just something kind of cool, like Rogue, you're not just paying for American manufacturing, you're not just paying for a quality piece of equipment, you're actually paying for the customer service as well, which is the best in the business from my personal experience. I've never had an issue with Rogue customer service. Nothing but great things to say. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this piece, and I'm just going to install this piece, keeping in mind that it has to be holes side up. Something of note though, there's supposed to be 2 of these plastic spacers, and unfortunately I only got 1 of them here, so I'm going to look in my parts bin and see if I can find a second one. This is why you always keep all the extra parts. So I keep all the extra parts from pretty much any home project I do or any gym thing I do. I ended up finding those spacers in a gasket kit that I had from a plumbing job I did forever ago, and it was like a legitimate set of small plastic spacers. Worked perfectly. So getting the 100-pound plates is always fun with one hand due to my surgery. And here you're looking at me mess with some tools trying to take off these plate posts. Now the plate posts are a little bit different than the normal 5/8 inch bolts. They're a little bit thinner. It's really not that big of a deal, but I grab deep well sockets because I'm not intelligent. And it all comes off really easy though, and it looks nice and clean. And you're about to see me discover that I actually don't need the spacer. So I messed with it for an embarrassingly long time, trying to figure out if I needed that spacer or not, trying to see if I needed to space it at all even. But there's about a 1/16 of an inch, and if you pay attention, look at that washer right there. That's going to end up being a little bit of a problem later. That's going to cause me to completely disassemble the entire setup. But the thing just goes in there. Alright, so just as a quick something to note, the spacer that comes with it wasn't actually necessary. There's such a little gap in there that the spacer doesn't actually fit. But if you look here at the bolt comes out pretty far, which I'm wondering if that means that this reverse hyper has a different distance from here to here. Because obviously that spacer has to go there if there's too much space. But I'm kind of curious why that bolt would be so long if this isn't how it goes on. So I'm just going to go ahead and not use the provided spacer and just continue installation as is. Again, there's a couple holes in the back side of the plate loading post that allow the bolt, no matter how much extra material you have, realistically speaking, however much material you have extra, it'll just go through the hole that's on the plate post. And you'll see there's a small problem with that. That happens in just a few minutes. But getting the little swinger do, I don't know what it's called, the little swinger do on there, it was pretty easy. I just kind of overcomplicated it because I was trying to get it all set up nice and pretty like, and get some good footage, and try to take out as much gap as I could, even though I didn't need to take any of it out. And right here, you're about to discover me discovering a small problem. So the bolt obviously fits through no problem, but when I tried to push the plate post flush, that's when we discovered the problem. So another little gee whiz moment here. The washer that comes with it is so wide that it doesn't actually allow the washer to fit into that center hole that's required for it to fit inside of in order to be mounted flush. I have another washer I'm going to use, but just kind of an annoying thing. Again, just annoying. If you don't care that there's a gap there, then you don't have to really take it apart or do anything with it. Just go ahead and zip it on there. But I like all my equipment to function the way I want it to function, and I wanted both of the plate posts to sit flush, which you're seeing me make a big mistake here because both the washers are the same, but I only took the one washer off. And so I'm going to waste all this time completely reassembling that side, and of course it fits through real nice, you know, using the extra parts from my parts bin. And then I throw the other side on and I'm like, oh wait, let me throw this nut on, maybe I just made a mistake. Throw this bolt on, maybe it'll sit flush. And here comes the moment when I realize that it's not good enough. Go ahead and start tightening it down. A lot of climax here. I think you can see it on my face, or in my body language at least. See, oh, and I'm dumb. So I get to take it all the way back apart, which at this point, I'm just getting really good at taking this thing apart and putting it back together. I really do think Rogue, I don't know if it was just a mistake, maybe the guy I bought it from, because it was bought secondhand, maybe he replaced the bolt, but ended up taking it completely back apart just to throw it back together again. I mean, really, it's not that big of a deal. You just put it back together. But you get a better look at the construction, at least this way. So if you're thinking about buying this, it is really easy to put on. You just need to make sure that you get all those small little nuances figured out, and maybe you'll get them figured out easier than me. But as you can see, with the appropriate sized washers on, it fits on there beautifully. It looks good. I've developed a certain efficiency when it comes to throwing this thing back together at this point. Tighten everything up nice and snug, and then go ahead and attach the foot roller. This is a quick explanation of how this adjusts up and down. Is you just kind of support this piece here, pull the pin, come all the way out. You can see that there's actually 3 adjustment points, all about 1 inch apart. There's the shortest. There's the longest. I just noticed this when I was getting ready to jump on here, but this nut is actually not tightened down properly. Just another important thing, when you're installing a new piece of equipment or in a piece of equipment that you weren't in control of, it might behoove you just to give it a quick quality control check, just to make sure everything's nice and tight, because God forbid you get hurt because of some stupid nut that's not quite tight. All right, so just from the install, a few things of note. One, I think it's kind of off-putting. I think it's just annoying that Rogue, which is a company I hold in pretty high regard, would have an attachment like this that comes with the wrong size washers that don't actually fit inside the plate loading pin. Now mind you, I'm dumb. I had to completely disassemble the whole thing and put it back together because I only replaced one and not both of them. But still, it shouldn't have been a problem in the first place. But other than that, the installation was actually really easy to do. I'm not quite sure about that pendulum post. I didn't need the spacer. I kept it just in case I need it later for anything, but I didn't need it. So I'm kind of wondering if this hyper is made different, maybe because it's the rack mounted one, I don't know. But overall, super easy installation. I'm gonna do a review on the product as well, so be looking for that. I got it off of Road Recyclers, the Facebook page. I installed it. It went on really easy. No real hiccups, just a couple of annoying little facts here and there. It uses 3/4 inch nuts and bolts for the main plate loading pins. And then for the actual reverse hyper attachment bolt, that's a 9/16, just as a heads up, in case you're looking to make sure you have the right tools for the job. And I mean, there's nothing else really to say. It's a nice, easy installation. I love the way it looks. I'm excited to use it. And I'll see you guys in the review. Until then, I appreciate you tuning into my channel. I appreciate you watching these videos. If you like these kind of videos, please give me a thumbs up. I'm going to continue to try to buy some more equipment, maybe buy some more used equipment and do some reviews or maybe some installation videos on those. One of these days, I really need to get a good send-off. But for now, I'm just going to say, I'll see you next time.